Looks like we're getting suppressed again. Oh, we got somebody in the house. So here we go. It was a heck of a weekend, wasn't it? Heck of a 2 or 3 weeks. Alright, 10 people in the house. Hey, Stephanie Lynn, Bronte Sims, yo, yo, yo. Sue Baxter Fitz, what's happening? Just going to let some people come in, and we're going to have an open mic. I'm going to put the link up. Anybody wants to come in, especially if you've never been in before, come in and sit down here in the studio and let's have a talk. I wrote this piece. It's called The Nine. I know why it's called The Nine, but I don't know if you can really detect why it's the nine in the words of the Soul Speak. Hey, Ernestine, Raven Sirius, what's happening? Angela Creddy. Yeah, so this one's called The Nine. And to me, it's, I don't know, I think it's, for me, the 9 signifies the masculine. There's a lot of people that are bringing in intel in regard to that. So anyway, this one's called The 9. Thank you for sharing space with me. Okay, so you want to know what's going on with me? I can tell you now because I can speak for my femininity. She's been a gift to me, and I know how to bear my soul. You've been the first to know all along. Till now, you've always known first. Till now, thanks to you, I know me. Thanks to you, I know how to find the gold in me, how to operate the Trinity. Always felt my divinity. Life's no longer a sin to me. My humans beginning to sink. What we thought were dreams, the thoughts we see are quickening. Synchronicities and happenings, higher frequencies more frequently. So this is our reality, made of traumas, made of dreams. Remember when we couldn't trust, want to give up, had enough, beam me up, bit the dust till you said, I've had enough. Return to love, mirrors of initiation, learning to trust the one thing we find most just, the one in us, the one that is us, blue blood, epiphany wine, conceptions, perceptions, newest reflections and directions. The goddess is knowing me now, finally found in my free. Ecstasy, mutuality, equality, dualities, egos, polarities, nationalities, mentalities, fallacies, and abnormalities. It's all a part of you and me. Crystal fountain feed beyond the needs in the endless sea. Love's possibilities interceding when the heart was bleeding. Now we reap in the steep feet, golden crescent urn, new magic to be learned. From the streets we cleaned the beast, the mountains we leaped, levels we have increased, the peace we continue to crease, swimming in the deep blue, cool, still waters of the I Am Soul. So thank you for holding space for me. All right, just want to do something a little bit different every day. It's been a lot of big energy for the past week or two, you know. I got a flake on my, you know. I'm just not going to hide anything. I'm here with my friends. Okay. These energies just like totally dehydrate me. I got this message from a lady today that's going to be coming on the show from Sydney, Australia, and we were just talking. I don't really have her permission, so I'm not going to really say her name. I don't think she'd have a problem, but you know what? We got to have respect. So, but anyway, what I wanted to read to you was, well, I'll just read it so you understand. I had sent her a message, or she sent me a message. I sent her one back, and we agreed to do a show, and she was just talking about what's going on right now. Okay, so she said, things are shifting so quickly. We have been deconstructed cell by cell, then sewn back together. Who are we now? How do we keep it real? Even this weekend, did you feel the squeeze? Almost taking a stance at how much we have given to the cause. All that has been asked of us. We have experienced the lowest versions of realities when we feel the highest versions, and that same love and support in return. Let me repeat that. That's a question. So the first part of what I really like about this is where she says, it's almost as if we're taking a stance at how much we have given, that's in quotes, to emphasize, to the cause. all that has been asked of us, where we have experienced the lowest versions of realities, when we feel the highest versions, and at the same love and support in return. So that was kind of a long question or series of questions under one question mark. But basically what I'm getting from it and what resonated with me is that, over the years, I have documented a lot of my journey. And when I was doing spirit walks and even later on doing the show, I might talk about having a come to Jesus meeting with the universe with all due respect, love, honor, and reverence. And so that's my way of coming to, just one central point with the universe and speaking for my human being, a lot like what she's talking about. And I know a lot of people can feel this, which is, you know what? We've busted our butts. We're working on ourselves. I'm not going to say that we haven't got the reciprocation, because we have been getting it the whole time. But I think what I'm trying to capture and what she's talking about is true, sovereignty is not even the word. True dominion over me, of me, as me, the I am soul, I am, right? I mean, that which is made in the image of. In other words, the most human part of us is taking a stand. That's spirit, that's soul, that's the core of it all, the appreciation and respect of it all, where we make the decision and say, you know what, this will not stand anymore. And it's from our field that I think people are starting to really step into their power and decide what energies they want to be, interacting with and in the atmosphere with, and what they don't. And there's nothing wrong with it. But so she really struck a chord with me. And let me just finish the rest of this. She says, it's as if we are asking heaven to support earth now. Spirit to love the physical. I really like that part. Spirit to love the physical, like my spirit, my soul, to love my physical. And this isn't about what I eat, and I'm not saying it's not. This is about how I feel about my physical body. This is about how I feel about the most dense conscious aspect and unconscious, but the human. We're always 99% of the time conscious here, primarily, right? To really love that part of us. Okay, so she goes on to say, I felt this powerful wave. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Let me repeat. As if we were asking heaven to support earth now, spirit to love the physical. It's time to bring it all here into form, into life. So to me, that really feels like embodiment. I felt this powerful wave. We just want to be truly loved. Yet do we know how to receive love? We have given it so well, and now we allow ourselves to receive the divine and pure love of our presence, the I am. The heart center is opening more and more, so we balance the giving and receiving love to self and the whole equal energy exchange that is the 0 point. Receiving is key now, and allowing. Each day there's more to understand, plenty of material to talk about and openly share. And then she talks about coming on the show. So I'm going to, when I started there was 22 people, then I looked up there was 33, then when I started reading that there was 44, now there's 55. What's going on, everybody? Don't forget about Soulogy Fest, August 26, 27, 28, Mulberry Mountain, Ozark, Arkansas. The live stream is going to be incredible. It's going to be its own consciousness. It's actually going to have features on it that we won't have, at a local level, although there'll be some really cool stuff on the live stream as well that won't be on the stage at the local level, but it'll be on the screen of the live stream, which will be like, remote reporters walking around the crowd, talking to people, filming people having conversations, filming other parts, the workshops and stuff like that. Just trying to keep it real, like as if you're there. So it's going to be really cool. I'm going to put the link on my Facebook page right now, and then I'm going to put it on YouTube's live chat. And whoever wants to come in, just, come on in. And anyone that's never been on, let's give them the first chance. If you don't see anybody come on for like 5 or 6 minutes and I start tripping because nobody's here, then, anyone that wants to come on that's been on, you're welcome to come on. But, there's a lot to be said for people stepping up now. And it's not just about stepping up, because that sounds like, oh my God, I got to step up, I got to stand up, and you feel so alone and such. There's a powerful thing happening. It's the pure Trinity energy. I've seen it in Morgan's groups. I've seen it in improvisational jam sessions with people where the words weren't the dominant theme. I've just seen it in the synchronicities, and I know you guys know what I'm talking about. And what this is the expanding atmosphere. Morgan calls it oneness. I call it Soulogy. Somebody might call it Holy Spirit. But it's that place where you can step up with no fear, which means in this environment that we're in, where we've fought through all of this conditioning and all the things that we've been through, that means a lot, and it takes a lot. So it takes a lot for an individual to do that. But it also, requires, or not requires, but it means that there has to be that support. That's really that giving and receiving love that this lady that I was reading her words was talking about. So anyway, let me put this on here, and Mother Goddess told me, you just need to go on. You need to go on. I'm like, I got things to do. She's like, no, you need to go on. You need to go on. I'm like, okay. So there's a link if anybody wants to come on. That's on my Facebook page, and I'll put it on YouTube. 1 second. Here we go. Let me just mute this. Boom. And live chat. Who we got here? We got Bronte, Angela, Heather, Dawn, Kayla, Shauna, Angela. Oh, right. Angela's got a ticket. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. For the love and support. All right. And we'll make it well worth it. Okay, we got 25 people in the house over on YouTube. We got the rest of the people. We're at 69. Okay, so I put it up, and let's see if anybody new wants to come on. We'll give it about 4 or 5 minutes, and I'll just keep talking. What were we talking about? Yeah, the space where somebody can come and express themselves, it is so powerful. I'm not going to mention any names, but I was in a group last night. It was a small group. And numbers, when you're counting bodies, that's no way to measure things in this new energy. Because one soul can rock the world. So I'm in one of Morgan's sessions last night. And there's so much emphasis on the masculine right now. I was the only masculine there. Powerful, quiet but strong ladies, all of them that were in there. I knew all of them and had sat in on sessions with some of them. But something really incredible happened. These are groups where very little talking is done, where everybody merges with each other, and it's just absolutely mind-blowing, the things that happen. There's been instant healing, like with 3 or 4 people that I know of. That's no BS. There's like a universal healing energy in the merging of people's open hearts. So back to the masculine thing, and just a little backdrop until somebody comes. Morgan had gotten the intel that the 369, 3 was the feminine, March. 6 was a golden child, June. And September is the masculine. The triad will be complete. The anchoring will be triggered to immense proportions, and a lot of people's intel follows this timeline, this chronological linear timeline that we have to kind of consider. But the masculine thing, it's just been huge. Since I've been here in Sedona, the mother's been with me. It's the only way I can describe it, in a way I've never felt and lived my life before. It's just been absolutely incredible, and I'm not the only one. If any of you didn't catch the live video that I was guided to go to the other side of town in a moment's notice and film, it's absolutely solid proof without words of what the heck's going on. It was a video, a live I did. It's 2 days ago. It would be on my Facebook page. I'm going to try to upload it to YouTube. Yeah. I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, the masculine. So I'm at this group session, and I won't even go into details. I'm talking about the energy. I'm talking about what I experienced. Because as the individual goes, so goes the collective. So what I was in the presence of was of this incredible goddess energy being emitted by this group of women that I was a part of as an equal, but coming from a different human perspective, because it had to do with the deepest and darkest, most distorted parts of us, which we all know where that is, the root chakra, the sexual distortion, and we know this. We know this, and it's up. It's been coming up since the Me Too movement and so on, and it's building and building and building. I think it's starting to affect the men. The women really have been brave coming out to align this energy, where you could say, I guess in so many words, that a victim, the feminine has been the victim of this patriarchal, and she has risen to a level of her own self-love that she is coming into alignment with the perpetrator itself. That's a powerful, powerful thing from an energetic level. And this is happening naturally. This is Mother Earth claiming her dominion, claiming her 0-point field. This is, at higher levels, I'm sure we know it's related, solar system, galaxy. But at our level, we've got people all over this earth that have had many, many incarnations. Those that chose to be in a female body in this incarnation, this last summary life, you might say, are carrying the core of that wound. And they are the quiet majority, really. They're a majority. They're certainly a majority in Lightworker and Starseed platforms. I'd say it's about 60% of the Soulogy makeup are these women who are reserved. They've been connected for years. They've been, told they're crazy. We all know the story. We hear it on all these shows. And in their own way, not with what they say, not with what they put out there with their work, and sometimes and many times it does align, because some of them are very good at explaining whatever part they're getting. But as individuals, those downloads they're receiving and that knowing that they have and that they're coming into their own power with is being felt more than heard. And now it's starting to be heard more. So I encourage every woman out there to step up. This is a platform you can come in and you can talk and you can feel safe. And there's nothing wrong if you don't do it. But it's a powerful, powerful thing. I bore witness to it last night. And so let me conclude that story about the group. So I'm not going to go into what I visually saw or heard or anything. I'm just going to tell you that I saw what I just described. If I'm just going to look at it as energy, forget that it was even people. I saw the energy of the victimized feminine in this patriarchal realm of the last at least 12 or 13,000 years, coming into love and alignment with the perpetrator energy. That's how I would describe it. And it made the core of my body, not just my soul, my heart, the core of my body from my bones just burst. And I felt two things. I felt the immense love of this Mother Goddess energy being anchored, I believe, first and foremost by these incredible types of women that make up this vast majority of our communities. And I would imagine maybe even the majority of the world's energy. But that was the first thing I felt. And then I also felt the pain. Like I felt how deep it went. Almost like it happened to me or something. I mean, years ago when Morgan first came over the first time in 2017, and it was like one of the first 2 or 3 nights, we actually slept in the same room, because we didn't at first. But I remember putting my hand on her, and I, in a moment, relived everything that had happened to her for 10 years. And as a child. And that's what it felt like last night. I felt that, but because the love was there that really triggered it, so to speak, I was able to absorb that sadness, that pain, that journey, and that at least to the best of my understanding, based on what I'd been shown and experienced and shared with these wonderful women. But yeah, it was like really, really deep, So there's something incredible happening. That video I took 2 days ago, full of that dusty pink. There's people putting up pictures all over the place of this dusty pink. That's the Mother Goddess energy. There was a pink rainbow in Sedona 2 days ago. I mean, this is going down, and it feels really good. And it's crazy because it's moving so fast. And the way it feels to me is the Mother has come in and let you know. This is my own thing, and you might call the Mother something else, but I believe it's the Mother. That's who I work for. That's who I came from. But she's come in and said, everything you've ever believed about me, about the universe, about the infinite, is true. It's good. Nothing's gonna, can hurt you. Now, having said that, then she says, now go out and make some dreams come true. And don't bitch, moan, complain, groan. Those programs are going away. Don't judge yourself. That's all going away. Relax and go find your passions and your loves and all that. So it's kind of a double kind of a push out of the bird nest. Something like that. All right. Oh, here we go. Just in time. We got Eric coming in. What's happening, Holmes? Let's see here. All right. I might have another gentleman's panel. 88 in the house now. It went from 22 to 33, 44, 55. Then it went 69, 77, 88. What's happening?
How we doing?
We're doing all right, man. Doing okay.
Good.
So
Good.
so I understand you're coming to Sedona on for a day or two, and then you're going to be heading out. I'm going to be heading out with you. We're going to have a caravan.
I know.
And I'm dead serious. We're going to be going to the same direction. So
Yeah.
you're going down. You're going down 40, right? Are you going down 30 or 20?
I haven't even looked at it.
Well, you know what? I have a great idea. Why don't we just leave that up in the air? We could go on 30, 20, or 40, because maybe we'll, have a couple of gatherings on the way. I was thinking Dallas, maybe even drop to Austin, but certainly like Kansas City, of course around Arkansas. I mean, it's all in the same neighborhood.
Exactly. I mean, that's what I was just about to say, is that initially we were looking at a little more northern route through Colorado to kind of just hook up with my sister and brother that live in northern Colorado, and then going across Kansas, but more in Nebraska potentially. But yeah, everything kind of shifted. So Casey had been talking about, she usually takes the southern route, and that's kind of what came through. And Sedona, that obviously, but we were going to hit it on the way back. We were going to do a reverse trip for the first coming together, but here we are.
Well, it's popping, but it's popping everywhere.
It is. I mean, I can never get this camera right and the light. A lot has been coming in for sure. It's interesting because, for myself and Casey, but the intensity that we've been experiencing with a lot of these energies, but also with the, feminine and masculine kind of balancing, you can't really kind of connect, or like it's not coming through because we're so immersed in our, union and just experiences and releases and mirrors and stuff. So, but I mean, the last few days since the full moon, we had a great full moon night, and it was really balanced, and then it just started ramping up, a day or so after that. I did catch that, just so you know, that amazing video when you went live.
Did you see that? That was crazy.
My God.
That was insane. That was insane. And huh? Yeah, the lightning. I want to go back and capture that screenshot of the lightning. And if you watch the whole thing, when that happens, everybody feels it. I mean, it was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And everybody's like, oh my God. And then all of a sudden, and it was just like for a moment. Like, I was sitting here, and I'm not going to get into the whole story again, but I was sitting here. She came in. She said, "Get in the car and go. You got to get on the land." And it felt different, and I just kept going. I'm like, "Okay, turn here, turn here, turn here. No, 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 no. Get out of town." I turn on this little street, just boom, right here, boom, and there's a spot where you can pull over like a little U-ey, and in the middle of nowhere, and there it was. It was
Right.
great. But I understood, like, she told me I am here. It's done, and now it's time to go to work. And then I only told Morgan this, but after it happened, and so those other cars came, and then they left because it started getting dark.
Right.
She told me, "You're not going anywhere. Take your shoes off." And I'm like, "All right." So I'm sitting in the car waiting for further instructions. Now it's getting dark, and all of a sudden I heard this, this just rolling thunder, like, and it was behind me now. It was the other direction,
Oh,
and I turned around, and it was like monsoon. It was like a wall of, and so I knew then, because I knew then this is why you want me to stay. So start sprinkling, and I'm looking at this energy that's in the cloud looking at me like you're looking at me, like eye to eye. It was very primordial. It was very ancient. It was masculine, and it said, the mother wants to talk to you. And I was like, all right. And basically, and I feel like that this is just an experience that's happening to many. I mean, this is all just our version, I guess. But it was basically, do you want to take this on? And I said, absolutely, let's do it. I get it now, so let's do it. And so I guess another way of saying that is tying that into what a lot of people are saying right now, given the fluctuations, given what I just read about how that lady put it, and what you had to say, and what you guys have experienced, that the programs are truly dropping away because the interactions within our lives that involve that type of and it's okay too. That's the thing. It's okay if it has to come out loud and ugly. Then it comes out loud and ugly. I think we're also learning not to take things personal. But I think that that stuff's fallen away. It's becoming easier to have confidence in what we've been coming into all these years, and it's starting to actually have a real time application. So.
Right.
It's exciting. Then I got up this morning and purged like crazy. So don't listen to me. I don't know if she was mad at me or no. I actually felt like it was like we just went through something, and you have like a little period of cleansing,
Yeah.
and it was kind of like a final cleanse. And it feels to me like we might go into another cycle like we just went to for the last couple of weeks. Yeah, the pink sunrise is incredible. Go ahead.
We experienced that yesterday. It was kind of a rest day for us, and she went over and babysit her granddaughter because her daughter went out of town, and I was just here sitting at her house, her place, whatever. And yeah, it was amazing because it was kind of the first time that we've had an extended period of separation, I guess, and fully, and it was rest.
Uh-oh.
Go forward. Yeah, everything's in preparation at this point.
You're cutting out bad.
Say again?
I said you're
Am I
cutting
cutting
out
out?
bad. You cut out pretty bad
Okay,
there.
let me stop. I don't know why sometimes is that better?
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds all right.
All right. I wanted to hit on one thing though, kind of tied to the sunset and, mother, all that. But the fire, the elementals are just definitely, going to the same purging and, kind of awakening and, letting us know that it's.
Yeah.
were on
Well,
the
I
path.
mean, yeah, you're cutting out a little bit, but I heard it. I heard what you said. That's a good point. Yeah, here. So yesterday morning when I came in to the studio, there was a fire coming off the top of a mountain, and you're wondering what the hell does that happen? But I think it's the lightning from the monsoons. But I mean, we know in the end, it's the energetics, and that was my first thing. She's coming out. I mean, she's burning. I mean, it's it's a powerful thing. Now, last night, because I've already had some experience, I've had a couple of, well, I've had a few experiences since, several experiences since I've been here 3 weeks. So last night, I went and had a bowl of soup and a catty corner from where I'm staying in Village of Oak Creek. And it was about 9 o'clock. I went late. I was talking to Morgan, sitting at the bar, eating the soup, and my phone went out. And so I got through eating. I'm just going to walk the short walk back to the house. And as I'm crossing the street, I look to the north, and there's a UFO, very clear. It looked to be about 150 to 200 feet in the air. It wasn't that far away from me. I could clearly see the three lights. It looked like a Christmas tree. And I'd seen one before with Morgan when she first came over. The first night we arrived in Provo, Utah, we were sitting in the driveway 2 o'clock in the morning talking to our friends, and the same thing appeared, and it did some stuff and whatever. We had a bunch of nightly experiences with him over there. We were across the lake from Area 52, not 51, 52. So anyway, back to what happened last night. So I came out and I was crossing the street. I see this Christmas tree looking thing, and it's like, okay, let me do it. So it's like sitting here, and I see it, and it was just like it actually called me or I don't know how to, got my attention or intuitively knew it, telepathic, whatever. So it moves about like this. It goes. So I recognized it, and I thought, I'm buying into this. I'm buying into every bit of it because it's the only thing that's been true, and that's our guidance, our intuitiveness, our spiritual confidence, our knowing. So I started talking to it, and I was like, okay, are you the same guys that were in Utah? Yes, you know that already. I'm like, okay. What did I say? I didn't say who are you. I didn't say that. I thought who are you, but not like to them. I was like, what I said to him was, why are you here? Like, is there a connection? And they said to me, well, the reason we're here is to let you know that you're on the right path. And they said, the reason we showed up in Utah was to let you know that you guys were on the right path. And they said to me, and this part I didn't remember. They said to me, "Do you remember when you?" Because see, Morgan was there with me, and then she went to Australia, and then so I was there like 4 months. So I was working like in this little work shed, and had my studio set up in there in the driveway. And so at night, because of the time difference, I would talk to her. So it would be like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, and that damn thing would appear. Like I would be talking to her in there, and it got to be so common that I would walk outside, and most nights it would come, and it would just come for a second. So I don't know. I'm always guided to share these things because there's coding within them that I don't understand, and also I think because a lot of people are experiencing, so many different, various ways of what's actually happening, like what you're talking about.
Well, so Judith Kusel, right?
Hmm.
Just posted about 7, 8 hours ago, and that, I mean, it resonated so hard.
I saw that. I
Um, and
shared that today.
yeah, and I think I pulled it from you and liked it. But again, it was just that deep confirmation of, kind of the work and path that we're on and doing. And that's, part of us coming through Sedona and then, to our, ceremony spot that we're going to be doing on the Lions Gate.
What are you going to
And
do? What are you going to do?
so we'll get into that probably a little bit afterwards.
That's
But
okay. I didn't know. I thought you were like trying to tell us.
yeah, no, no.
Test.
Yeah, it's not that it's a secret. It's just,
No, it's
we
all
were
good. It's all good.
yeah, just
I'm
keep
looking
it
for.
till, but
Here it is.
I mean, it was one of the first big, downloads that I received after we connected. And, Casey confirmed it. And, it's been a process, like, again, trusting the path and trusting, just being able to just embody, just the knowing. And then, so that confirmation today with Judith, I mean, it's, you know, a number of, not just specific to this, work and ceremony, but, you know, that lineage and, going back, like you said, like 12,000 years and like feeling all those energy aspects of the feminine and, part of that down was, went back eons. And, what they say when you transition in like the 3D or whatever, do life review, one of the things they said is like, oh, before, like, we're going to get all the information of our past lives and incarnations and experience, how we kind of came to doing this one ceremony that we're presented to be a part of. So yeah, it's like, okay, it's
That's pretty
happening.
heavy.
Like,
And I think that's another way it's happening. I mean, like, it's like everybody's on the same story, and it just looks different on the surface. I mean, that's powerful what you're talking about. And if in my own mind, if I equate that to an energetic story, it's the same thing that I'm getting, which, I would just say it different because I'm experiencing it different. Like for instance, in my relationship, it's just fucking, it's power. I mean, power surges. It's like what we go through together. I mean, alone, any of us individually, and it's even though there's a whole lot of stuff introduced now that wasn't introduced before, which is timelessness, or let's just say no linear time, space. I've seen, to my mind, 3 times in the last 3 or 4 days, conscious. Once eyes open, three eyes closed. I have seen the grid of the deconstructing matrix, like to put my hand through it, even like getting to a point. I mean, so there's a lot of stuff going on. But I think going back to what you say, just to kind of tie that up and conclude that part of it, I think in like layman's terms, you can take Franco de Nicola, you can take Edgar Casey, Dolores Cannon. The timelines that they've had line up with the let's just say the history that was being suppressed up until this boom about 2012 when the internet really took off. So around 13,000 years ago, 12, 15, 14, I mean, archaeology is supporting this. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff going on. This was the latest surge of human experience, post Atlantis, post all the other things that we know and don't even know about. And I think as that starts to register in people's heads, because so much of this embodiment's about being conscious of something, just knowing something. I think that's going to really start to bring back people's memories. I know I'm having a lot. I'm having some galactic stuff that's deeper than I've ever remembered, and also human incarnations, but primarily the soul lineage into the earth experiences. So I know it's a lot of people. This is happening. It's happening now. Whether we're conscious of everything or not, that's a different story. And like so many people have said over, especially these last few months on the show, you don't have to know. You're going to know when you need to know. So shut the F up and go back to work.
Yeah. I think, there's been not as much has come in the last 3 weeks since I've been here, but there were some things that were presented. And, right before I came to come out here, I was guided to so I had an anchor point in Florida, and I had to do a ceremony where I pulled up my energy from that anchor. And it was a big grounding thing for me, prior to that. So once I got here, it's like I wasn't anchored in to the ley lines and the grids here, and it kind of came through. It did come through that where I'm going and where some are going, I guess. I mean, maybe it's not everyone, but is that we're going to be above the grid, but still anchored in. It's been a process for me trying to connect into it, but not being anchored into it, if that makes sense. So I can just, wherever we are guided to go, we'll be able to just be how we're just energetically above it, but still be able to spread out our field. And
and our physical body, and our physical body too, I think, because one of the things I'm picking up on, even here in this this part of Soulogy, this Sedona part of Soulogy, because it has been a part of Soulogy, there's been a lot of different parts, is displacement or movement.
Right.
I'm picking up from a lot of people, lots of different circumstances. I'm packing my stuff, or I'm going somewhere, and I mean a lot of people. A lot of people. I mean, I've met 5 people that all arrived at Sedona in the same week and were told buy a one-way ticket and come. One was sleeping in a tent on top in the canyon. I mean, the 2 friends of ours that came on when I first got here, Elfie and Rita, 2 beautiful German ladies, 64 and 70. And they were told, get rid of all your stuff after 10 years in their house. Put everything in storage, sell everything else, and go to Sedona and wait for further. And, so it's like there's a lot of, not waiting, but something's coming. Let's see who this is. All right, what's happening? What are you doing? You've never been on before, have you? Oh, my God. Yeah. Thank you for coming in and honoring us with your presence and sharing space with us. And also, I want to thank you for your incredible comments over the years and support. I mean that, because you're a no bullshit lady. and I love the way you come in. Well, because I get that we can all kind of be like a little half-cocked when it comes to when we talk about other people, as we've learned over the years. We've softened up, but it's another thing to be that way with yourself too. Like you make comments about people and yourself in a very constructive way, in a very in a way that inspires conversation. Like you really think about things and you don't leave anything out. But the way that you do that, I think, is very real. So these are the women I'm talking about. All of y'all need to come out.
I thought there was nobody on here, so I thought I'd jump on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you're in.
I don't know if you can see me on the camera because I don't know how to use it.
Yeah, we can see you. It's you need to go to your right. To your right. To your right.
Am I right?
Right there. Boom. Right there.
There we go.
So this is Eric. He's my friend. He just went from Florida to California. This is Janie. You live in Oregon or Washington? Oregon, right?
I live in Oregon, yeah.
Right on. Yeah.
I'm out here in Troutdale, Oregon. It's very close to Portland.
Oh, I've been up that way. We went up that way in 2019. We went right by. Oh, I remember we were messaging. You were in a different town then, I think. It wasn't like right on the road.
Here.
Huh? Were you here? Were you there?
Here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know that area.
You guys were maybe gonna stop by, but you found somewhere else to stop, so you guys didn't come through this direction.
Yeah, I know that's what it was. Hey, so as long as you're on here, and so what's going on with you? How are you seeing things? You know, because I love your comments because you're always so plugged in. You're like plugged in with elementals, galactics. I mean, you're very confident in your memories. You know, like, I mean, you know, it's so nice over the years to, especially like someone like you, because I mean, I think we've been friends like probably 5 years, maybe. You know, and but it's nice. I'm sure people see it in me and Eric and others, but like to see people's growth and their confidence. You know, it's just like really, it's really inspiring. But so, how are you doing, and what's going on?
Um, I'm doing good. I think I'm dealing with a lot of things right now with like my body, trying to integrate more into my body. So that's just where I am at. Being able to hold the frequencies um, that I have now. And it's kind of a challenging thing. So I had a lot of the mind first and the energetic first downloads that was happening. And now I'm trying to actually integrate it somehow into my body.
Wow.
I don't have like all the words that you guys have,
No, you
but
just said it. You just said everything you needed to say. I'm feeling it all as you're saying it. And do you have children in the house, don't you?
I have 3 children of my own, and my partner has 2, so we have 5 children together.
Holy
Mhm.
crap. The Brady Bunch and the Ascension. That's crazy. Wow. Wow. No, I totally got what you said. And that's one of the things I think y'all bring to the table. You can say so much in so few words, you know, because it's been a patriarchal, you know, very you know, long-winded kind of frequency field with the patriarchal dominating. But yeah, I totally got what you said.
Yeah,
Are you
I haven't had any like huge downloads in quite some time. I just
really?
know that I'm led to be more on Earth and dealing with grounding my energy or whatever the hell I'm doing. I don't know. But I'm trying to hold it into my physical body. And so my body got like, it had some problems, some aches and pains that was bothering me. And I had to figure out how to do that. So I do a lot of breathing exercises. I do a lot of like um, things that we all know that we're supposed to do,
People
practices that
where the
help.
words weren't the. Go ahead.
Yeah, eating more healthier and stuff like that. Whatever I can do, any information anybody has out there, I'm grabbing onto it
Right.
and to practice that.
Uh, I'm curious, and then we'll go back to Eric. We don't leave Eric out. I'm curious because I've always wanted to talk to you. I mean, we met one time. I think we did a little session or something years ago. I remember, and you were very cool. I mean, um, but like in terms of like the way it's happening or how the experience is unfolding or becoming, do you feel like that you're having an increase in like your sensitivities, um, abilities, you know, or things happening? You know, some people talk about time glitches, and some people talk about you know, true timeline jumps and that type of thing. Are you having any weird stuff happen or noticing anything about yourself?
I think for me personally, like that has been happening for a while, right? Um,
I think for
so, like,
me,
I don't see anything different than what's been going on.
yeah,
Besides, I can feel like I can manifest things faster.
yeah,
So a lot of my goal was to kind of manifest as I came into my power, try to manifest the things that make me feel joyous and happy. And so I was practicing a lot on bringing some of that in for myself so I can enjoy my time here. And so,
man, this is great. This is fantastic. I mean, I love it. That's just.
hi.
Oh, this is Ann. She's my friend. Ann, hang on a second. Ann, let's check your mic because I think you have a reverb. Hang on, let's see here. Let me. Can you speak?
Can you hear me?
Okay, you
Can you hear
sound.
me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We can hear you. Let me go to Eric, and then I'm
Okay.
going to come back to you. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay. It's good to see you again. Okay, Eric. Uh, any comments on what Janie said, or anything you want to say.
Um, I mean, you know, all right. So being just present, like in the now, has been a big focal point. And especially with coming into this physical divine union, and the things we've been experiencing. Um, so certain things have been kind of more at the forefront regarding aspects of that and self. I mean, you brought up individual, and you brought it up the other day too, and that's been a big thing. Like us both keeping our individual aspects and in the growth, you know, point of self and I am. But and there's with this coupling and this together, energetically, it does present some unique things that you can't even expect. So, and that's the big thing too. Is like there hasn't been a expectations. It's just being present, and then kind of working through and allowing, um, and then becoming. So that expansion is pretty, a lot on its own. Um, but yeah, there's like the last few days, there's been a lot of pull, for our work together, and focus and manifesting, and um, so that's been coming on. But I did want to jump back to something, and what you started, how you started the show, um, and that's been coming through big time also, and been an allowance, for a lot of masculines, is that the divine feminine is leading, and you know so allowing that again is a big part of that process, and that's been a big thing with Casey and I, as far as I mean, I wouldn't say it's like huge, but I mean, I feel it. It's like, okay, I understand, and know that she and all women in their divine power are bringing us through this, and we have a role, and it's just kind of coming into that and allowing again. So yeah, it's what we signed up for and why we're here, and my man for the last better part of a year or two has been go forward, just keep allowing and growing and expanding and being aware and present, and then having those moments where you're going to hit those deep pockets, and we come out of them, but just transmuting it, and finding those release points and staying connected into why we're here. So
Right on. This is what we need to hear. We have a new friend in the house, but we're going to go to Ann first. So, new friend, you just wait right there. Higher vibrations. And we're going to get to know her and hear. And Janie, please stay. We're going to go Ann, then higher vibrations, Janie, Eric. We'll just keep going in a circle. And you're welcome to stay. This is great. I love these shows. Okay, Ann. Hi, Ann. How are you doing? It's good to see you.
Yeah, today it was a little challenging. I feel like I'm in a divorce with my daughter. It was just, I don't know. I started out feeling so peaceful, and then around noon, it was just shit everywhere. So it has been I feel like one moment I'm in paradise, and then the hugest trigger or somebody on the outside is just treating me like I don't know how, but I set up a boundary. But since then, I have felt like, oh my gosh, and yesterday I was so good. It's really a roller coaster. I feel it's just like, okay, got to 5D, see how long you can stay there, and then crash, boom.
Thank you for the real talk. It's good to see you, too.
Yeah.
Stick around.
So, and my daughter, she said that I would actually love to come on Todd's show, but I don't have the courage.
Who said that? Your daughter?
Yeah.
Tell her to come on. Tell her to come on.
I
We have
did.
this new thing, and we're going to do it. Probably, maybe tomorrow, maybe today. If this show, it's 1:11. So there's a guy here that is a totally bona fide ET. He's one of the, I'm going to say, 10, I don't want to say 20, top 25 people that I know high frequency. Like he's really, really out there, so to speak. Anyway, so he doesn't want to come on. So we have these cartoon characters. So I'm going to interview his cartoon character. He'll be in the other studio, lip sync and everything. So tell your daughter we'll develop that animation so she can come and do it. But yeah, let's sit tight. Sit tight in. You're welcome to stay. We're going to go to our new friend, Higher Vibrations. Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you today?
Very good. What's your name?
Pamela.
Pamela.
Higher Vibrations is my YouTube name, and
I think I've seen you then. What's your yeah, I have seen you on there. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for your support and your energy. Yeah.
You're amazing. I really just wanted to jump on to amplify the experience of talking about the ascension symptoms and all this cool stuff that's coming online, and just kind of say, yeah, me too. You guys aren't alone. We're all going through this cool, crazy ride, and it's beautiful, even though if there's like little bumps and stuff along the way. Like the energy shifted in a profound way, and I've noticed the sun actually looks different today than it ever has. So I don't know if anyone else has noticed that.
When would you mark the point where the energy, everything changed? Well, God, that's a dumb question. How many times does it happen? I guess. When was the last time? Which one are you referring to?
The one I'm referring to was right around when the Syrian gate portal started.
Yes.
So,
oh, yes. How could I be so stupid? Yeah, that's when I went into some vortex for like 3 weeks.
Right.
It's like the whole world went into a catastrophic catalytic combustion. Yeah. So what part of the world are you in?
I'm currently in inland Washington State, but I spent a good portion of my adult life in Utah, so I actually am very familiar with what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's some crazy. I mean, I was there 4 months, and I saw a lot of things, and I'm not just talking about what I was talking about. I'm talking about some of the Mormon stuff. that was pretty wild. I did some work there, I guess is the way I'd put it. Ultimately.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, stick around with us. What's your last name?
I'm not.
Oh, don't say that. Yeah, don't say that. Your Higher Vibrations. Here, I'm gonna. I don't want to block her. Yeah, there you go. I'll just put your name up there.
Thank you.
Let's see here. Sorry about that. I'm a Sagittarius, and sometimes I don't have the greatest couth. Like sometimes I can say the dumbest things. Just ask Morgan Lee. Okay. So let's go back to Janie. Janie, what's going on? What's happening? Anything you want to, any sacred wisdom, feminine bombs you want to drop on us? And I just want to say big, yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I heard the other beautiful feminines talking about the bumps and stuff that they're talking about, kind of the resistance. And I'm trying myself to adopt this philosophy of, I don't even know if philosophy is the right word, but this idea that that I got today was that every single, I'm sorry, I only have 8% battery, but it's okay. Every single one of these bumps and stuff is to have us hold attention to what it is, so that way we can watch it consciously shift as we're conscious creators. You know what I mean? So it's having that appreciation for it, instead of the, oh gosh, this sucks so bad, which of course it could, you know what I mean? And it does when we're going through it a lot of times, but practicing the energy of shifting it into an appreciation, because now I can, if you don't know something, right? How are you gonna know? So if something that you don't want happens, how do you know you don't want it unless it happens and it brings in something more powerful?
Yeah.
God,
that was deep. Yeah,
That's one thing.
Lawrence Wendell was on last week, and he's essentially traveled without money and other than public transportation, bus, from where you live and you live all the way to Guatemala. And we've been doing shows for years, and we, I was homeless the first 2 years on the street, so we had this kindredness of what we'd experienced. He's way ahead of me now. I don't plan on going that route, but I totally respect what he's doing, and this is his calling. But that's the one thing that comes out of what he's talking about, or what he's representing, or how he explains it, is whatever comes to allow it. Now, in his case, that will be going to a Mexico City jail for 4 days, or getting a meal or not getting a meal from a family in Mexico or Guatemala, or But it's what he's saying, to allow, and I can feel what you're saying. Like, I know these last week, so many people went through a lot. Morgan and I went through a lot, but to your point, we were conscious of it, and we continued to, in our own way, to keep going to work, basically, to keep on going. And a lot of constructive creation was achieved. Well, we're getting a loaded room here. Uh-oh. Okay, so wait a minute. Hang on, Elsa Dillon. Eric, you've been on before, so I'm gonna knock you off. I'll talk to you.
Yep.
You're on my list. I was
Gotcha.
gonna call you back last night,
Yep.
but I got into a meeting.
Oh.
Okay. I love you, brother. Thank you. Okay, let's go pull her in. Divine Feminine is in the house. There she is. That's Elsa Dillon. We're gonna get right to you. Who was last? Janie. Janie, that was powerful. Anne? I'm sorry. Yes, Anne. Let me get you your mic on. Boom. Okay. Anything you want to add,
Yeah,
Anne?
yeah, I really appreciated what Janie was saying, like, because here today I had a hard time accepting what happened. And the more we resist, the longer it persists. It's just the way it works. It's just not that easy, because in this house today, where I was with my daughter, where I am, both went unconscious. And when both goes unconscious, you don't get anything out of it. So it's like, shut up, don't say anything, and go inward. So this has been going on for like hours, and I haven't figured out what it's about. It's some kind of rage. I don't know. But what I really appreciate about this time is these, when you get to that 5D, you can just feel things in the sky. You can just feel the energies pouring in, and it's just, whoa. And then the human thinks, oh, well, now everything is well. And then 2 hours out, it's just like, uh-oh, I didn't say vigilant. And then, bam, something happens on the outside. And this lady today, she was really rude with me. I should take care of a house for a friend. And I came to his wife's house, and she lost it, like, even before I entered. And she was so enraged. And normally I would have got into shock. But I like kind of set a limit, and when I set the limit, she just exploded on me, and I nearly vomited when I went out. But then I got triggered into myself. It's just as if these energies, distorted energies, they're like viruses, until we release anything that resonates with what's happening on the outside. Because if I can react to she's going like this, then I have something unresolved.
Yeah.
So that's what I feel interesting. It's all these mirrors that are up. And the funny thing is, this
Ooh,
huge
those
gap
mirrors.
between when you're well and then the trigger hits. It's just like two different worlds. It's like, what happened? Now I'm in hell again. It's just crazy. And it happens like dang, 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 dang.
Yeah.
It's, yeah.
Yeah,
So
there's so much talk about the Great Divide, and I don't mean this in any disrespect whatsoever, because one thing I think we're all understanding too is everything that we've done, every time we've shown our ass, every time we do anything, every time we engage when we know we shouldn't, or whatever, it's okay. It's what they were explaining. It was what I was reading that lady wrote. It's the mechanics of it. It's not personal, right? So, but yeah, but with the whole they're not awake and the Great Divide. I mean, it's all us. If there's a Great Divide, I'm divided. I mean, whatever it is, it's everything. So, yeah, that's yeah. Thank you for that. And higher vibrations, Pamela. Have we exchanged emails?
I don't think we have, no.
Okay. Yeah, you should come on the show sometime. We'll do a show. By the way, I'm letting everybody know. We've been kind of in flux, obviously. A lot going on too. I'd love to fill up this week for the first time in 5 years or something. And I know it's the energy that the calendar's clear, and I don't know if it's guiding us to go with a more of a spontaneous type of thing, because that's the way the energy is going to be. But I'm doing 15 shows this week, easy. I'll be doing three a day, maybe 4 this weekend. So I don't know. I just have the call to do it. So anyone of you and anyone else out there that would like to come, just shoot me a message. Go ahead, Pamela. Can you go?
Well, yeah. Thank you for the invitation. I would very much enjoy that. Thank
Yeah.
you. I kind of wanted to elaborate more on what we were talking about before. Everyone touched on it so well that, we have all these energies that are moving up and through us right now. And that's been a big deal for me. And the way I see it is that there are these energy pockets in the planet. You can kind of see them that just kind of need to move through something. And so a lot of us are even conduits, I guess, like we're like straws helping this energy leave this space, and sometimes it seems like a psychic attack because you also see an image, or you also have a very strong, painful physical sensation, and that's simply this thing that's been left ignored for so long that it's kind of been imprisoned here. And so as a person who chose this mission in service at some point that I don't recall, my part of that mission is to see it. Once it's seen, it can be acknowledged without any kind of judgment. I don't need to figure out where it came from. And then it can be released with love so it can move on.
Yeah.
It doesn't want to be here either. It's not like bad guys, good guys, really. They're stuck and they're kind of like a caged animal reacting. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's what it feels like to me anyway. So
that's a good description. How long have you been awake?
I had a near-death experience when I was 4, and so it's just kind of continued on. I would say I've had phases of awakening ever since.
Wow. All right, stick around. This is getting interesting. We're going to go to Elsa and then back to Janie because I know her battery's running down. And then we'll go back to Ann and Pamela. Hi, Elsa. How are you? Where are you at? Thank you for coming in.
Hi. I'm here in the hills in Byron Bay in Australia.
Oh, in Byron Bay. Wow.
Well, we're between Byron and Lismore, so.
Oh, Lismore. So you've been in the middle of all that rain over there. That's wild.
Yeah, we got the highest rainfall in the floods where we live.
Yeah, Lismore got wiped out pretty much. That was crazy.
Yeah.
So that was what, like 3 months ago or so. But I mean, how are you doing? What's going on in your end of the great unveiling, the great apocalypse?
We sort of came out with our family because we see craft and ETs for 25 years, and so we sort of came out into the public with our family at Christmas time. So we're sort of just sharing all our stories with the world now rather than keeping them to ourselves. We have a big family, lots of kids. you've got lots of kids too.
Wow. So are you telling me that your family is having group, like a group kind of experience with ET, and that you're coming out?
Our kids draw them, talk to them. We have physical contact. We have crafts landing. We have crafts landing with neighbours coming over. Um, yeah, we have it all the time. It's not a big deal for us, but we realise that it's a big deal for others. So we're in compassion and kindness for that. But we also see goblins and fairies and dragons and whales, and it's not just one species, it's kind of everything. I actually don't understand what is going on with our family.
Wow.
But obviously we're meant to share it now, so everything's kind of, every time, I mean, my husband and I were successful photographers around the world, and we've shot very prominent people around the world, shot in president homes, and just, but all that's been stopped for us. We haven't worked for a while now with everything that's going on, but we've been stopped a few times for us to take a different course. So now we're sharing in a different way. So
wow.
We're sharing our family, I guess.
So this just happened at the end of last year? You just started coming out? You started coming out?
We put a website up so that people could find information, and that was at Christmas Eve. But we got in touch with Mary Rodwell, and that was kind of huge. That took us on a huge change of events.
Really?
Yeah, that was interesting. But I mean, the reason I came on this morning, I've never been on eCam before, but the reason I came on this morning was because I woke up a little late, and my first email was another man that we channel his ETs from 1978. They communicate with our family, and he's from the UK, and he sent me an email not knowing anything about me watching Todd Medina, and he sent me another message about 2 sons returned to Sedona.
What?
Because I sent you a message, I think last week, about 2 sons returned to Sedona, and our 2 sons have returned to Sedona, and you're in Sedona. So I thought I have to come on and meet you and all your friends and say hello.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are y'all feeling that, or is it just me?
Sorry?
I'm asking them, are they feeling that, or is it just me? What the heck? Whoa.
Our 2 sons are born on the solstice, one on each. Our whole family has incarnated once before here on Earth. So we are living out, we're replaying an incarnation or a family that has been here before.
Holy shiitake mushrooms. Go ahead. Sorry.
Each one in the family is not only looks similar, but is acting out the same patterns, which can be quite scary. But I keep getting the same message, it's not what you think, and that don't listen to history, it's not what you think, because our whole family communicate with their past incarnations, and they tell us that they're still with us. So it's funny because I'm not a hippie, but I really sound like a hippie, don't
No,
I?
you don't. You sound like a person who's in the middle of the same thing we're all in the middle of.
Yeah.
You're having a
You all sound
t-
like you're in the middle of it.
yeah, we are. We're all paddling. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah. Well, in my work on the show, we've come across some what I would call conscious families, family units, but nothing like this. Now, I already saw a comment from one lady, one sister that said, "I need to talk to you, Elsa, because I can totally relate, or I'm going through the same thing." See, this is so key. We think, the woo-woo woke us up and all that stuff, right? But I believe, and I've been saying this for years, that speaking this out at the human level is the most powerful code that we can offer. Because how many people, I mean, I'm getting chills just contemplating, because if it's happening there, it's happening everywhere. It's just some people, it might be more of an embodied conscious experience, I'm in awe.
What's amazing, Todd, what's amazing is because it's been going on for there's 8 kids and we had them in 10 years, my husband and I. And our 8 children have been doing this from birth. And so our kids, when we go out surfing in Byron or when we're on, when we were working on photo shoots with crews or something, our kids see things and don't understand why they don't see it, and they're standing right next to somebody. So it's quite... but our kids aren't so forgiving. They'll just sort of tell an adult quite openly, "What do you mean you don't see that?"
So let me ask you something. I don't know if you saw earlier in the show when I was talking about the craft that I saw last night. Did you hear that part?
No, I'm learning how to work this on.
No, that's okay. So I'll just tell you real quick, and I want to ask you a question because of your experience. So in 2017, Morgan and I went to Utah, and a craft appeared on the night that we got there. The exact same craft appeared to me last night in the middle of the street with cars going by. It was not high in the air. It was the same craft. I was talking to it, and I could not understand why the cars didn't stop to look at it, because it was right there. It was so solid. You know what I mean? So my question, Elsa, for you is that what you're talking about? I mean, I can't even comprehend, if I'm looking at something that's solid, that appears solid, that others couldn't see it. But would that be what you're talking about in terms of what the kids see and others don't?
Okay, so I'm not going to freak you out, right?
No, this is Soulogy. You're not going to freak us out.
When I can hear your voice, I can hear the experience that you've had.
I believe you.
So, so I'm hearing your connection with those ETs now. That their frequencies aren't ready. So so that craft now is fully downloading to me. So thank you. But they're also saying that their frequency is it hurts others.
I got you.
So your frequency is ready to take that on. But if that happens to somebody else's frequency that isn't ready, it physically can hurt them. It can give them disease. Anything that's not of the highest good in their body will tend to disease. So they don't do that. They're not here to interfere. They're here to share an experience with us. That's our free will, right, on Earth.
Right.
So those beings that were with you, if maybe you had people from the group there with you, they might have seen it, but they would. You all have to be on different collections of frequency, and some frequencies you let go of as well. Like my daughter describes it. One of the beings we met were acacia beings, and they described it like a bathtub with all the bubble bath, and there's all these realms or frequencies.
Right.
And you can have as many bubbles around you as you want, but some bubbles get dirty, and you have to move them on. Otherwise, then they start to make the other bubbles dirty, and you can move all the bubbles around, or some people describe it as Lucy, where they're pulling frequencies out of the sky, or Matrix. But so you can collect as many frequencies as your body on Earth can hold. But some bodies are not meant to be here to hold, so that we can see that as well.
Right.
So then you have, I guess, what humans call tragedy.
Right.
But there.
Right.
I mean, we have a lot of people come up to us who, just random people, especially to our kids, who their children or the people, they have one of the alphabet diseases, we call them.
Like ADHD?
Yeah, or autism or something. And they will come up and do really strange things with us. And I keep saying to the family, it's because we can see their true frequency inside. They're in there. But so to me, seeing an autism person come up to us, or an ET, or a goblin, they're all the same. It's just seeing their frequencies.
Right.
I'm just not I don't know all the spiritual guru words because I don't really watch anyone.
You don't need them. What are you talking about?
Just things we've learned, and I don't know how to explain them.
No, I think it's been incredible. All of y'all have been incredible. I feel beyond being honored and reverence for what's going on, what's being exhibited right now through this collective, the four of you. Because it's all different, but it's all the same. And now to hear something like this, I know that other people are going to hear it or be exposed to the energy of it that's going to open up memory or release code. I love the bubble metaphor and analogy because that's really what it is. You can have as many bubbles as you want, but you got to keep them clean. You got to keep things moving, yeah. Well, hang on. Don't go anywhere. Janie, you're up there with Sasquatch, the elders. I know you're galactically connected. We've been on this journey with so many of our friends, brothers and sisters, consciously and not, for so long. I'm just curious as to what Elsa just said was so many things coming in with what she said. And I like I said before, I totally respect your opinion. And I meant that, over the years, your perspective, because you're so real. What do you think about that? Does that even faze you? Because it probably doesn't. You'd be like Morgan, it wouldn't even faze you, right?
No, it doesn't. Shock.
Is it just because I'm a man? What is it?
About it, I feel like there's a lot of people here on this earth that are going to have these abilities. I feel like certain souls are like different. They've reincarnated as different entities and stuff, and they're all bringing it into one. And so if you could do that, she's probably got her power coming in as one too. That's just my idea of it. I don't have all the answers, but that's my thoughts of what that is. ETs and stuff, I've had my experience with them, but I will choose not to talk about that today.
Yeah, I'm good with you. Yeah.
If you have another question.
I'm in shock over here with all of you. I mean, it's just such a, I don't know if you caught the early part of the show too. I was talking about this group uh, that I was involved in, very general details, and with these women, it's the same situation. Oh my God! Wait a minute. Yeah, there was five of them, I think. But anyway, even like today, I guess what I was trying to tap into and articulate from what happened last night, it's it's the energetic communication as an observer. And like she said, I'm feeling what you experienced. Well, I'm feeling something different. It's like the eyes of my feminine have opened. I can see, I was telling Morgan this yesterday, I'm starting to be able to see the patterns within the realm. How, and because I'm a man, I had a different set of lenses on, I guess it would be another way to put it, and starting to understand that feminine frequency in this experience, when it's, inhabited in a human, body, and all the things we've dealt with, and coming out and to this moment. So it's quite amazing. It's not really the content, as you're right, as far out as what Elsa has to say might be to a lot of people. It's really not. It's really the norm. And she's not, the she, in all of us, but mostly represented, in my opinion, by the feminine that's walking the earth. Because there's huge paradoxical symbology in that. That which is the least is the most. And women actually, from a personal choice, making a choice to go with that higher intuition that they always had, that knowing, and then actually watching this all happen is just, it's just quite amazing. It really is. So, I knew you were going to say that, Janie. No, it didn't faze me at all. So let's go back to Anne, and then back to Pamela, and then back to Elsa. If you guys would, if you want to stay, I'd love for you to stay. And if you don't, then I understand. But we should definitely do a show with you, Elsa, and your whole family, or any individual in your family, or whatever you want to do. We'll call it the Soulogy Brady Bunch. Oh, you're not even the Brady Bunch. You got 8. Jeez. My God. And deepest respect to you, by the way, for being a living example of what I have to believe is a mother energy, and very similar to what Janie was talking about. Anne, what's going on? Are you feeling better? you went.
Yeah,
You went from.
I hit home with Elsa.
Yeah.
I am so happy what you told. I just felt my inner child was like, why didn't teachers talk about that in school? My inner child was just listening to you. I felt very strange when I was a child, and I was abducted every night, and I slept so badly. I mean, I couldn't sleep on a bed. Everything was on the floor in the morning, and often I went to not very nice places. But I have felt really strange as a child. I didn't feel a child, I felt like an adult, and that nobody understood anything of what I saw in nature and what I could connect with. And sometimes I feel like we are just a tiny part of us incarnated here, and that there are so many, I don't know if it's aspects, but as if I'm not only here, that I'm multitasking elsewhere at the same time when I'm here. And sometimes I feel it's very difficult to navigate here, because I feel like my GPS is not formatted to be here somehow. And I never wanted to be an adult. I couldn't. Elsa, I can't thank you enough. It was just as if you hit my inner child, like as if I remembered this that I'm telling now, that I had forgotten, kind of thing. So I I just sometimes feel that this little part of me here is so tiny compared to what's going on outside this planet. Like, what is going on down here? And And why can't people see what I see? I have had that a lot. Why can't you see what I see? Like,
Maybe it's what her explanation was, in regard to what happened to me last night, where, um, well, I mean, you said it like they just can't see it. Um,
no, they can't.
just
But
like,
as a child, it's frustrating.
yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, because I mean, and how many memories are shrouded? Like, did that happen to all of us? You know what I mean? Like, okay, next one. Thank you, and Pamela. You got anything to add to this incredible conversation? And I'm assuming that by your your smile that you weren't phased by Elsa's story either, were
No,
you? Wow.
I've resonated with everything that's been discussed. I do have something to add about the divine feminine and divine masculine, and this is just something that I've been asking about for some time. And, we all get channeled information differently.
Mm.
Um, and sometimes it's just good to share what you know. The divine feminine for the longest time wasn't here at all, right? We didn't, it was just gone. And then what was left of what was here of the divine masculine was hurt, not in a temporary way, and kind of like deformed in some way. And so for the longest time, the divine masculine was holding out the divine feminine. And now the divine feminine is finally grounded and here in this experience that we're in, and that empowerment has created this series of activations. And at that time, all of a sudden, now we as the divine feminine get to hold up the divine masculine as they mend their and heal what has happened throughout whatever amount of time. um, and a case in point to kind of point that out, or to an evidentiary thing to say, is that 2/3 of the population of the world are female right now. There's a lot of
Is
females
that
here.
right? I didn't know that.
Isn't that crazy?
Holy shiitake mushrooms, man. So there's 2 women for every man on the earth. Wow.
Oh goodness.
Wow. No, I don't. I don't mean it that way. No, but think about the energy of that. Think about the potential. That's why I said earlier, I think this number of the women, of the frequency that's represented by the women like you and the women I was honored to be in the company of last night in session, it's over half of the world. It has to be. And think about what they're carrying and what they're coming into, which is basically, I've had enough. It's that same thing I described at the beginning of the show, where it's like all the fairy tales are true. Everything you've ever heard from me, the mother, is true. Now go to work. Not work, but now go play. This is the time to go. We bring it all together. And, and like Elsa was saying about the experience I had last night, they're simply wanting to experience the earth just like me. That's all. And they were just saying hello, I guess. Or we know you or something, because I'd seen them before. Yeah, but thank you. And Pamela, you got anything else? That's a really good point. Let me ask you this, Pamela, because I have a feeling you're a practitioner. Are you a practitioner? Okay. And, well, you all are. What am I talking about? I'm the man. I'm the last one to wake up here, so you have to give me a little time. So Morgan downloaded January, February, March, the feminine anchored. April, May, June, the golden child anchored. And then now, and on my personal intel and what I've been sharing certainly aligns with this, that the masculine is anchoring. At first when I heard that, I thought, why is it in that order? But then if you think about it, what you're saying about your intel that you were sharing, thank you, it is the reverse. And at some point, he has to be splintered. And I got to Sedona, and the first Soul Speak I wrote was called Splintered. And so now it makes sense that for all the crap and all the hits that he took, and obviously much of it deserved and designed, but he still showed up. And so, like you were saying, she anchored, and then the third energy anchors, and now he's getting the that support that we've been talking about on the show, where you're starting to see the feminine come out in him, right? I mean, that's what I'm seeing. That's what I've been experiencing, and it's a bold, scary, courageous, powerful, beyond vulnerability, transparent place that's the pure mother. You know, like it's just like how deep do you want to go, Todd? So, yeah, I'm so happy to be seeing all this happen, because I know so many of you have known what's going on. I mean, again, Morgan's told me this many times. Hey, they know what's happening. They know what's going on. They've been, you know, I mean, like, and I'm thinking, okay, like what? You and your sisterhood? Like your friends or the community? You know, no, literally, she means every one of them. And I believe that's true. I believe that's true. So to be able to get to this point, and y'all must be like just jumping, like Anne's inner child was jumping when Elsa was talking.
It is a gritty energy. And the experience of the love, where love used to be something that you could feel, but now you can feel it.
Yeah.
Like and then you can almost see it, like, because you know how the way that you can see angelic sound, it's the same.
Yes.
Kind of. It's become visual now.
Yes.
It's so cool, and I believe fully that it's just that it's that balance. You know,
Yeah.
we all have divine masculine and feminine.
Of course, yeah.
And
Of course, yeah.
turmoil, you know, and we're all connected. We're one thriving organism, all of us together.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, and so when we feel empathetically, we're feeling our own appendage, you know, truly. And so as we all ascend in this experience, we're lifting each other up by lifting self up.
Yeah,
you know, and
that's right.
doing that self-forgiveness and understanding that how powerful you truly are, you know, to stand in your power and to know that that you're a good person, that you're awesome.
Yeah.
You know, and you're here in service. That's all you got to do. Thank you
Yeah.
for coming. Thank you for your service.
Yeah, showing up and sharing you. Really, showing up you are, but sharing the best of you is just that what you're talking about, or what we're all kind of walking into now. I think this, I guess you would say, conscious living. Thank you. Stick around. Elsa, is there anything else that you would like to share with us that you would think would not be something you could share with us? Because this is Soulogy, you can share anything. We you know, our dear friend Franco De Nicola, when he first came on, we did over 50 shows together. He had the type of information that you have in so many ways, and he didn't want to talk about things, but I got him to. So, and it was beautiful because it was awakening to so many people code they already had within themselves and memories that had been shrouded. But yeah, and thank you for you and your family for showing up. And God, is that? I mean, I can't see the rest of your house, but it kind of looks like you're in a spaceship. That looks like a bay. Now, is there anything else that you want to share?
Well, so we're all our own star and we're all our own orbit. And you're not here to save anybody. But you are here to shine as a star and spin, but you have to spin your own spin. And sometimes with relationships, family, I'll start with family because we're quite private people. We're not social. We don't socialize much. When sometimes I'll be spinning and Richard will be spinning and we don't spin at the same spin. And that's okay. And that's one thing that I really want to share because we have some pretty intense energy coming really soon. Really soon.
Okay. Hang on a second.
It's really soon.
Okay, hang on a second.
Just be understanding, I guess. Yeah. Just going, oh, my spin is spinning faster than his, or his spin is spinning faster.
Okay.
Or, hang on, now I've got 10 people in the family here, and we're all spinning on different frequencies. So I'm just going to go and sit outside, or I'm just going to go and pat the dog, or I'm going to go and do the dishes, or do something do something. Go
Yes,
away.
yes, do something.
Go
Yes,
and
movement,
give
movement.
yourself,
Yeah,
give your orbit space so that their orbit can have space.
right. So can I?
Don't try and push the two orbits together, because this is when you will have an explosion of an orbit.
Okay.
So back to the bathtub. We have all the bubbles, and all those bubbles, they all fit nicely in the bathtub. They all just push up against each other, and they'll reflect light on each other. But if you try and crush these bubbles into each other, I'm going to make him understand. I'm going to make them hear what I have to say. In high energy time, it's volatile.
Yeah.
It causes stress in our bodies, and
yeah.
And I'm sharing this now because I do feel this coming.
Okay. I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to interrupt you. There's a bit of a lag.
I really... Sorry.
No, it's good.
We're upside down here.
You're upside down. God, you guys are like, I mean, this is real-time intel. It really is. So let me ask you first, and then we'll go around and ask the others too. And then we'll start to figure out how we're going to... Oh, my God. It's going to be 1 hour, 44 minutes, and 44 seconds in just a minute. 136 people in the house. Thank you, everybody. So what I wanted to ask each one of you was, when Elsa just said... Elsa just said that I'm telling you this because there's a bunch of energy balls coming and whatever. So my question is kind of twofold. First to Elsa, then Janie and Pamela. Because I saw the look on the three of y'all's faces like you already know this, which again doesn't surprise me. So Elsa first. That which you're pointing to, would that be something that's similar to what we just went through, like in the last 10 days or so? And if so, is it bigger? That's my question.
Well, I have many visions of the future. I don't know if those visions are downloaded from the beings that I speak with, or if they're already inside me and they're just getting woken up. But the energy coming is big, and it's not slowing. I think everyone's waiting for everything to go back to normal. I keep getting that vibe from a lot of people, and it's not. So you have to spin differently. You have to spin your spin faster. So that means that you have to get your temple ready, or your body ready. You have to get your living space ready. You have to get your other friends around you ready. And the way you would do that is you give them space, again, with the orbit thing. So you're allowing everyone to orbit, everyone to play out their I call it the Elsa show, and my husband Richard, so he has the Richard show, we have the Elsa show, and sometimes the shows might come in and have a meeting together and hang out together, and then they have to go off and have their show separately to experience, and then they come back together. So you're kind of on a path, and you keep coming back into alignments. When you have this huge energy coming in, that's exterior, so then that kind of comes in like this, and it actually will give us energy. But if our frequencies aren't holding it, then I don't know what it will do to your body. I mean, if you can have that energy coming in from wherever they say it's coming in from, and you can absorb it, wow. I mean, wow. Wow. I mean, that's going to take us from where we are having this conversation right now,
right,
with you guys, in another country, right? So it takes all the energy that we're having right now, and we got this energy coming from outer worlder coming in, shaking us, and then we're going to spin a whole nother spin again. I'm like, yep, I'm ready for it. That sounds exciting. That's exciting. But I have to understand that then that's going to take some time into getting into my body. So I have to have compassion for myself as well. So I might be tired, or I might have a headache, or I might need to lie down, or I might need to wash the dishes, or go for a walk, or
pat the dog.
I might need to talk more.
Right. What was that last part?
So, well, you might need to talk and share or debrief, like a debriefing. You know,
yeah, that makes sense.
And it might need to be with someone different, or it might need to be the same people.
Right. Yeah, kind of like
not being on a schedule. The schedule thing really doesn't work.
Yeah, I'm finding that out.
Schedule, 9 to 5, just seriously does not work with all this energy coming in.
Well, I'm finding
We're
that.
not meant to be.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry for the lag. You're not meant to be 9 to 5. The animals aren't 9 to 5. Animals love the routine of dusk and dawn, but that's it. It's a new spin each day. They don't have 9 to 5.
I'm noticing that, with the schedule for the show, like Morgan's pointed this out to me like 3 years ago. Like, have you ever noticed how the schedule energetically kind of has like a mind of its own? Because like she'll send out all these dates and times to people, and it all comes back, blah, 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 blah. And it would make sense. It'd be like it was Feminine Stepping Out Day, or there would just be this symmetry, So then it started happening where all of a sudden, all these dates were sent out, and Monday and Tuesday, the 18th and 19th, are empty. And she'd be like, you know what? You might want to be on your toes Monday and Tuesday because something's coming in. And then it would be 2 days of being on your back or whatever. But now it's organically and it's clear. So I came in thinking I'm going to load up 15 shows this week. And I'm thinking in the old way. And yet I was guided, you need to go on now. And I'm like, I've got some things I want to do first. I'm like, no, you need to go on now. So here we are. So is this how it evolves? Is this the way this, to me it is. To me, everything is like working with what's there in real time, in the present moment. Janie, you have anything? Let's go Janie, Ann, Pamela, and Elsa one more time, and then we'll close it out. We'll all sing a song together or something. Janie, what are you feeling that's coming that she was referring to that all of y'all know about and I don't? And is it going to be bigger than what we just went through? Well, that's a dumb question. Throw that one out. Let's add to it. That's a dumb question too. This telepathy is just not going to work either. So, what's your feeling on what's coming, and do you have any sense of linear time-wise when this might occur, or whatever you got to say?
No, I don't. I don't claim to think, I'm not one of those people that knows when things are going to happen. As a matter of fact, I can only hold on to certain things, otherwise it will affect me in my physical life and my physical body. And so I leave that to the people who do that. You know? So I don't have the time, but I do know what she's talking about with the bubbles and the spinning, and how it's going to, I think she's talking about it, a practice, right? I'd have to ask her one-on-one, but like a practice of coming into that one bubble, and how she's spinning and everybody's spinning and everybody's practicing their spin together, and how everything's going to come into oneness. I don't know if that would really happen like within a week. That would be amazing if something like that happened. I don't have intel of something like that happening right away. I know I have a work to do before anything like that happens for me.
Wow.
So that's all.
Real talk. Anne, you have any concluding statements? Thank you, Janie.
Yes, I wanted to tell something to you, Todd. When you say that the feminine is always first and then you get it last, I really received, what if the masculine were not allowed for some reason that I don't get intel on? What if it was the divine order and not
Right.
about gender?
Right.
So
Yeah, I
that's,
mean that makes a lot of sense if you look at it from a positive, like if you look at it from positive, negative, and we know what I mean by that, not bad and good. Absolutely. And also understanding that there have been other, I guess, themes in our previous incarnations on the earth and otherwise. There's
yes.
been solid evidence of matriarchal civilizations. And I mean, I can remember very clearly having a very powerful, strong, I guess you would call it a lucid dream, but it was very real. And it was that moment we were talking about at the beginning of the show that a lot of people's intel on or about the Ice Age, 12,000 years ago. But it was the end of Atlantis, and it was matriarchal. And I was with Morgan and another woman, and we were just in paradise. And then the distorted masculine came in physical form, which would be like reptilians or whatever, and how it felt. Like when you were talking about, one of y'all were talking about the masculine, that original tear or something, like, because we didn't have a choice. They were bigger. They took our women, and that was shocking to me. But so I can see where it can go both ways, and I totally get what you're saying. It only makes sense, especially when you consider what Elsa was talking about and Janie was following up on. Like if we're all swinging in a circle, uh, you know, and I mean, I'm sorry, we're all spinning, to use our term, and then energy's getting blasted. Obviously, it's going to change our direction, and so as we're trying to get our balance again, so to speak, our equilibrium, we're as humans trying to grab onto each other and say, no, 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 don't let go. But it's actually, as Elsa said, it's better to let everybody spin because it's going to come back. The bubbles are going to come back, So I guess
Yeah,
Jamie.
I've been trying not to think about what will happen because my human mind goes crazy. So I try to stay as much as I can in the present moment and don't worry. And I'm trying not to understand it all.
Yeah.
For
Well, yeah.
example, why do I need to leave my home? Why do guidance say that I need to pack? And I don't do it because I'm so attached. And then I end up not being in my home. I'm paying the rent, but I'm not there. I've been there 10 days since the 17th of May. And I'm just getting into acceptance that life is presenting for me. And what I thought I was here to do is just as if there is a divine order, like you can take care of that later kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I feel there is like kind of, it's not an urgency, but it's everybody is being like, is shuttled a word in English? Everybody is
Shuffled,
being
shaken.
like and it is as if we get out of our comfort zone, and where we think we should be we're not allowed to be. And it's just crazy, and you can think you go there today and then all of a sudden life is like, nope. It's that spin Elsa talks about. It's about when you accept and you just listen, it's as if everything is in flow kind of thing.
Hmm.
And it's all geometric somehow. I don't know how to explain that. It's all geometric, that we have to fit in with each other, and it's doing this huge Merkaba thing. But it's not only one Merkaba, it's like a lot of Merkabas together creating one big thing. And it's just as if we are all being shaken to be a part of the puzzle.
Well, it creates more
And
bubbles.
whether I want it or not, I have no choice anymore. It's
Hmm.
just the way it is, and that's it.
Yeah. Free will to relax. Take the chill pill. No, that was a great description. Y'all been great today. Thank you, Ann. Pamela, you have any comments? Yeah.
Yeah, just 2 points I wanted to make. I've been noticing that the Merkaba has been changing shape. I don't know if anyone else has been noticing that. It's more like a diamond now.
It's an
It just
octahedron.
isn't that crazy?
Well, I've had the luxury of, being with Morgan, so she's actually been downloading the octahedrons, I think like 10 plus years, but it started to come back in. I think it was beginning of last year. And if not, it was the beginning of the year before. But I remember because she said it's coming back on, it's coming back on. Now, all this group work that she does, that's the basis of it. I mean, it's like, in fact, if you go to her website, she has a free octahedron. Because every time we come together in the group, everyone puts themselves in their octahedron, right? So her meditation takes you through that. But then as we proceed in the group, which is just like a physical, metaphoric representation of what y'all are talking about in the bubbles and everything, it is octahedron based. It's diamond based. The grid that everyone's seen in these groups is octahedron grid. I mean, it's the new Earth is the diamond thing. I mean, I when I was in that session with them last night, I had something that doesn't normally happen to me, which was, and I told her, I said, I don't know if it was Australia or Sedona, but there was this red rock that went up like skyscrapers, and it was obviously talking to me. There's a lot of stuff in there, but in the in the rock were all these bluish, see-through bluish diamonds. Everything was a diamond. So yeah, I think more people are aware that it is no longer a Merkaba. It is an octahedron because people like her and people like you are starting to share that information. And again, a lot of times it's just us telling them. It sounds so human. Let me tell you what happened, but it has so much code in it. Go ahead, continue, please.
Thank you. That's really cool to hear. I really appreciate that. Also, the point about the energies that are happening right now. Right. So everyone, you probably know what Lionsgate is. Everybody kind of is. That's one of the ones everyone's aware of. In August 8th, we have this energy portal space that happens. And that's just the Syrian light really been being shown down into it. It's the light being shown on the soul, so more than the dark night of the soul. It's illuminating what needs to be cleaned up inside. I bring all that up because the energy that's happening right now is already in the same energy of Lionsgate. We're already in that kind of energy, and we're not there yet. We're pushing toward that space, and I've been seeing too a lot of these things that are coming in to help us. Like the whole point of the energy being amplified by the Syrian sun, it amplifies the energy of our sun by 20. And we're having the craziest solar storm going on up there right now. The solar flares that are coming down, when it was noticed that it would be Earth facing, I don't know if you know this, a moment after NASA declared it would be Earth facing, they put out oh, by the way, for you guys, just so you know, it looks like the atmosphere's thinner. And there was like a conspiracy cover-up thing. It was kind of interesting because they knew it was going to be so intense. Yeah. And that's already intense without the Syrian sun amplifying it by 20. So we got that coming into us, and that energy, that light that's assisting and turning on that 95% junk DNA. Turns out it was just dormant DNA, surprise. And so we're having all this DNA being turned on and activated by these solar flares.
Yeah.
At the same time as all this stuff going on. So I say look forward to August in the next couple of weeks, but then leading into the fall, there's going to be another really awesome event that's going to occur.
Well, really?
Mm-hmm.
Anything you can tell us?
There's going to just there are people who will make decisions that will positively affect who chooses to try to still linger in an energy that they're not in the same frequency of, basically. So those that are not in the higher frequency, we won't have to worry about them so much anymore.
I wonder if that's what Casey, Franco, Dolores Cannon talked about at a minimum, metaphorically, probably literally, that 25% of the population would leave very quickly.
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to ask you one other thing about what you said. You were talking about the energy. What was it? You were talking about. Dadgummit. Okay. At least I didn't curse. I usually remember. I'll pull it back in. But let's go to Elsa first, and then if I remember, I'll go back to Pamela. And you guys, please stay with me.
I had a little question for Pamela.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, Pamela, do you feel like this? It's just what I get, but I don't know. I see like this Lionsgate is just one entrance point, but that there are like 12 entrance points, but that humanity is only focused on those one because it's the ones that have been in the lineages of the ancient ones. But I feel like there are 12 entrance points.
100%.
That makes.
Sorry.
Okay, thank you.
For 100%, just like a lot of these astrological events that we put so much credence on or so much importance on, the reason that it is so powerful is that everyone's putting importance on it. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of like we all agreed on this landmark as a point in time where we're all going to meet, because instead of time being a time, it's a place, you know, and so everyone knows to go to this place at this moment. And so, yes, that's one that people are focusing and agreeing on. However, to elaborate a little bit further, more and more people are noticing that. We've had those. I do these free Zoom meetings through my thing and we talk a bunch of starseeds, and a lot of people have been talking about noticing those types of places. It's almost loopholes that no one's just noticed are there, but they're always there, and they're always readily available to anyone at any time.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Wow. I know what I was going to ask you. So, with that announcement that you were talking about that NASA put out, and that type of propaganda or whatever you want to call it, do you have the feeling that as these things continue to happen, and it sounds like very rapidly even, that it's going to be so obvious and palpable that everyone's going to know it, basically, in one way or the other?
Yeah, there'll be different, like, frequency, and in different frequencies, there'll be different understandings of it.
Right.
And even explanations, just like a lot of this other stuff that we're watching happen right now, you know, as below, above, so below. And we're seeing, you know, different layers of transmutation and filtering out and making those new declarations of mission acceptance, I guess is the best way to say it, you know. And so that's going to happen in that way too. And however, everyone's going to be talking about it, even if they don't all know what it exactly is.
Well, that would make sense if the thing about the 25%, I mean, that would seem to parallel frequency or energy wise or pattern wise or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, this is awesome. Elsa, do you have any final thoughts that you would like to blow our minds with? Anything? I would like to. Go ahead. No, I want you to say whatever. Go ahead. Thank you.
Well, I think that the trick is now, and trick, spell, whatever you want to call it, is bringing it into your day-to-day, bringing it into your every step that you make. Every breath you take, every step you make, how can you bring that in? How can you bring all this spinningness in? And we're human. We're in these bodies to slip up so that we can have an experience and spin differently. And every single one of us is meant to spin differently. You are not meant to spin like somebody else, because what's the point? And even twins don't spin the same. So every time in every, so we, Elsa means, I was named after a lion, so I was named after the movie Born Free.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, lion is alignment, a lion moment, alignment, a lion moment. And we get messages all the time that we like getting hung up on the dates, which is fine. The dates are good because they kind of show us a guideline of when the energy's coming in. But they always say don't hang on to the dates because sometimes that will disappoint some frequencies, right? They get disappointed, so they get to this big day and then nothing happened. That prophecy was wrong. Well, it wasn't wrong. It was just maybe a bit out of alignment for that orbit of that frequency.
Depends on how you were spinning. You know, on the linear timeline,
so,
I mean, yeah, makes sense. Wow, this has been an absolute amazing time. This is 2 hours. This is a new concept. I don't know what happened. I just told her to turn it on. But I'm going to talk to Morgan about it. There are 165 people in the house right now. So, you know, I don't know. We just have to keep going with whatever's coming in. And I totally agree with everything that y'all have said and some of the stuff that you've opened me up to. I think this is a sign, a further sign of what's happening. And it sounds like these little things, like your groups that you do for free and, you know, or you know, like these little things we do, or having a show every day. How can that make a difference on the whole? But it actually is the whole thing, isn't it? It's everything all described and what's happening for so many people. And this I don't know, like just the way everything was restated, particularly in terms of like my takeaways here, the galactic connection, the divine and feminine, magnetic dance, you know, like the bubbles, the concentric circles and the bubbles, and being in the bathtub, and you know that analogy, you know, you can't, you know, and then having the energy come down and everyone starts spinning a different way and have to find their, you know, like it's just, you know, it's a lot of information that I've actually been able to experience. So I'm thinking everybody else really enjoyed it. So we'll do it again. You know, no structure. You just jump on, and you know, I think that's a big part of how this stuff works too. You know, we can't make a bunch of rules. I mean, that's what Soulogy's always been about. Only because we were guided to do it that way. But anyway, thank you so much. I appreciate you all. Thank you for coming in and sharing space with us, and honors with your presence. I hope to do it with each one of you again. And best to all yours. All blessings to you and yours, all your family. And I'll see you on this side, the other side, or both. Peace out, everybody. I'm sure going to be back on later today. Take care. Hi, Judy Dyer. Good to see you.